Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to Pro Car Studio. My name is Rudy, and today we're going to be upgrading the 9th Gen Civic Si project car. Now, you might remember from a previous video, we upgraded the brake pads and rotors. Well, we kind of stopped there. Reason being, we wanted to see what the next step would be that's necessary to kind of cope with all the things that we've done so far and see how they match up at the track. So the stock rubber hoses or brake lines are pretty flimsy. They're going to expand under high brake pressure, so that's going to be our next upgrade, is some stainless steel braided brake lines. These are made by SiriMoto. They're a good high quality brake lines, stainless steel braided with a red PVC coating, so they'll definitely last, probably the life of the car, if not more. So it should be a pretty straightforward install, so I'll walk you through the process of installing these brake lines. And along with that, we're going to flush out the OEM brake fluid with this StopTech performance stuff. The STR 600 and 660 series of their brake fluid has a higher boiling point, meaning that they'll be able to take a little bit more heat than the factory brake fluid would, which is one of the limitations we also found at the track. Was after a few hot laps, the brake pedal might get a little bit mushy. It wasn't too terrible, but it definitely was noticeable, and it did not give us any confidence under braking. So these upgraded brake lines, along with the higher temperature rated fluid, should allow for better performance at the track, and also will work well for a daily driven vehicle, given that you'll be able to better feel the brake pedal articulation, and this brake fluid will be able to handle anything you throw at it. So let's go ahead and get started. I'll walk you through the process of installing these brake lines, and also why we chose these tires. Some people might have been asking, like, why not go with a set of BF Goodrich or Nittos? We went with Federal 595 RSRRs, so I'll talk to you a little bit about that along the way. Having securely raised the vehicle and removed the wheels, we'll be able to gain access to the brake lines. We'll start off by removing a 12mm hex head bolt holding the brake line bracket, and then remove the banjo bolt using a 14mm socket, making sure to be ready for the fluid to come out. So once you disconnect that, make sure to move it up and out of the way to prevent it from draining out.
Now this one is called. 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 Forward, my people, forward.
Make sure you remove any of the old crush washers. Always try to make sure to use new ones. Now we can get our new brake line fitting starting at the banjo end, just to locate it in place, and then we'll worry about connecting the other end afterwards. But the brake line bracket, you want to make sure you have that located properly. You could do this after the line is installed, or before, when you have it out like this. If you need to move it, feel free to do so. Make sure to take note of the banjo bolt fitting orientation, and then install your crush washer and bolt, and finally a crush washer on the bottom. Next, we'll remove the brake line fitting and clip using the correct tool, and in this case, this open-end box wrench. Using a 17 and 10 millimeter wrench, we'll tighten up the fitting to our new brake hose. Now that we've installed all 4 stainless steel brake lines, preferably in the order of front driver side, front passenger side, rear passenger side, and lastly rear driver side, we're going to now bleed out the system. Now we've covered this in the past and there's a ton of write-ups on how to do this. But what we're going to do is start off by gravity bleeding each caliper. This will allow all the fluid to come out and prevent us from catching air. We're going to start to slowly pump the brake pedal, maybe 2 to 5 pumps depending on the system. But as we're doing this, we're going to keep a close eye on the fluid level for the brake master cylinder reservoir and also the bottle that we're using for our brake bleeding procedure. Make sure the reservoir is constantly being filled. You don't want to go below the minimum line. If you do, fill it up right away. Hopefully you didn't catch any air, otherwise it'll be a much longer process. But once you've bled every corner in this fashion, you might want to make sure to finish off by manually bleeding each caliper. This entails having 2 people, 1 person inside pumping the brakes, the other person relieving the brake pressure at the bleeder screw to make sure that the system is properly bled and that there is no air in the system. And while we wait for the rear brakes to gravity bleed in order for us to flush the entire system, I wanted to show you guys the wheels and tire combo that we're going to be installing. This is a 235/40/17 tire. It's the Federal Federal 595 RSRR tire. It's about a 220 tread wear. Good track tire. It's budget friendly as well, but offers great grip and handling on the road course. And one thing I did want to point out here on the back is you'll see that we're using some aluminum duct tape foil. That foil or tape allows the wheel weights to stay on even under high heat conditions. Now, normally that's only used for like hardcore, road racing where they do 20 laps non-stop, something like that. But even though we're only doing, 3 to 5 hot laps on the track, that's still enough to get these wheels and tires really hot. This car is pretty heavy. It's, full interior. So, upwards of about 3,000 pounds with the driver and everything. And so with the additional aluminum duct tape, just a little tip for you guys, if you guys do go racing on the track, it's a nice little thing to add on. It's not completely necessary at all, but since we also do drive these on the street as well, it's good peace of mind to have this tape on. That way, if any of them come off, it'll be easy to see, and also it'll really prevent them from coming off in the first place. So. And that'll pretty much do it for the installation of the SiriMoto brake lines, and also just touching on the wheels and tire setup that we went with. We'll give you more updates on that once we hit the track, but also, as long as you follow the proper procedure in that you want to start with the front driver side, then move on to the front passenger side, rear passenger side, and end up in the rear driver side. As long as you flush or bleed the system in that sequence, you should be okay. And again, the installation was very simple, just a few nuts and bolts. Just make sure you have the correct type of wrench for some of those fittings. Once again, my name is Rudy from Pro Car Studio. Make sure to check out our website, www.procivic.com, for more information on these brake lines, the brake fluid, which is a must for you track guys, and also the wheels and tires. If you have any questions, definitely comment below, give us a call, or shoot us an email. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.